It can't go on like this, can it? It can. Liverpool lose again. You heard me right. Back-to-back 3-0 defeats. 6 losses in 12 games. There can be no excuses today. Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, Alisson Becker, Alexander Isak, McAllister, Gravenberch, Sobersley. Every one of their star players played. There can be no excuse. Do we say, and I am going to say it, they're out of the race. It's done. They're in a top 4 race now, no longer a Premier League title race. If Arsenal beat Tottenham tomorrow, they are 11 points clear, which at this moment in time, it doesn't look like Liverpool are going to make up. Liverpool have played 12 games and only won 6. Liverpool are below Manchester United, Aston Villa, Spurs, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Brighton, Palace, City, Chelsea, and Arsenal. And it wasn't the first time in recent years that Nottingham Forest have turned up to Anfield and won. They did the same thing last season. But this is the Nottingham Forest side that was sitting 19th in the Premier League. A Nottingham Forest side that just before Nuno left, they brought in Ange Postecoglou. They were a complete capitulation of what they were under Nuno. It was chalk and cheese. They then bring in a new manager who, take nothing away from Sean Dyche, has installed belief. Nottingham Forest have gone on to draw with Man United, beat Leeds, turn up to Anfield, score 3 goals, 15 shots against Liverpool Football Club. 15 shots. Liverpool had all the possession. The opening 30 minutes, by the way, Liverpool were really good. But that there is a kick in the stomach. That is a momentum killer. 3-0 against Man City, your title rivals, is one thing. International break, is Arne Slot going to be here? I did a preview of Terry, right, for these games, and I thought Liverpool would go out there and win convincingly. But I'm not going to lie. The Arne Slot sacking, a lot of Liverpool fans all over the socials are saying it. Sack Slot, slack Slot. Sack Slot? Sack Slot. There we go. I'm looking at it right now. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I can see it. Liverpool have conceded 20 goals, which is 15 more than Arsenal. We're going to break it all down. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts. Let's look at the lineups first of all in this game. I'm not going to lie. I didn't get to watch the entire 90 minutes. I had it on, but was also sorting things out around the house. We've got Man City coming out next. Match reaction. They've also dropped points. But in terms of personnel available, there can be no complaints from Liverpool today. You had your 3 best midfielders on the pitch. You had your star man up front. You had Salah. You had Van Dijk. You had Alisson back in goal. So you can't even blame it on Georgie Mamardashvili was there. You know, Forest, Gibbs-White, Williams, Murillo, Savona. Really, really good display from Nottingham Forest defensively. Selves, I think Selves made something like, I mean, how many shots? I think they made 4 saves, sorry. But yeah, looking at that lineup and looking at the players that were unavailable, you know, the fact that Forest had no Chris Wood, their main right back was out injured. Fair enough. Florian Wirtz is out. Frimpong's out. Giovanni Leone, of course, will be back next month from that ACL injury. But Connor Bradley was out as well. There can be no excuse. I mean, Ekitike, Robertson, Chiesa, and Rio Enjamoa come on. But for me, the first 30 minutes, Liverpool were really good. Not going to lie to you guys, they were. From the 30th minute to the 50th minute, Forest came alive. You know, that Murillo gets his goal, that, you know, they start from the 30th minute. It was just like last season. Forest under the cosh, defending with absolutely everything. Really, really trying to galvanize something. They're under the cosh. They're pinned down. There's not a huge amount you can really do in that situation other than just just keep battling, keep battling. Anderson corner comes in. It's a flat corner. Liverpool struggle to defend it. Van Dijk's at the near post. The ball lands straight from Murillo, who left foots, volleys it past Alisson. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. When they scored that goal, I turned around to my friend who was round mine, and I literally said, that's game over. Now, Liverpool Football Club, for all the transfer business they've done in the summer, bringing in the best striker last season in the Premier League in Alexander Isak. You're bringing Florian Wirtz, one of the best playmakers out in Germany. You're bringing a very good left back in Kirkes. You bring in Ekitike, a very good striker from the Bundesliga. At what point now is this a manager issue, not a personnel? A change of system. Szoboszlai goes in at right back, because you've got no Frimpong or Bradley. Too many changes in the midfield. 1 minute it's Curtis Jones coming in. 1 minute it's a double pivot of McAllister and Gravenberch. 1 minute Isak's playing, the next minute he's not. A change of system, and it could have been 2-0. VAR rules it out. Igor Jesus slams the ball into the bottom left corner. You go into half time, and I'm thinking, right, Liverpool looked lively in Nottingham Forest's defensive area, but they were toothless when it mattered. When it come down to taking your chances, Nottingham Forest did that in the first half, and Liverpool didn't. I'm thinking, right, if you are a Nottingham Forest player, you're sitting there in that dressing room thinking, we've got these lot beat. Because the Liverpool heads dropped. The crowd was starting to get nervous, starting to get on players' backs, which is completely normal for this sort of situation. And then all of a sudden, you're sitting there thinking, if Nottingham Forest score early here, what's going to happen? And that's exactly what they did. It's 2-0 inside 60 seconds of the second half. And do you know what really rattles me? I took Nico Williams out of my fantasy team to play a free hit, and Nico Williams gets an assist. Inside 60 seconds, Forest have a second goal. And at that point, it was done. Liverpool are in complete disarray. Players having a go at each other. It's a simple cutback, which undoes Liverpool's back line from the left, from Nico Williams. From one fullback to another, he smashes it high into the right side of the net and makes it 2-0. And I'm thinking, right, that's it now. Game over. Game, set, match. But then they to completely, for the third game running, not Nottingham Forest, Gibbs-White scores, makes it 3-0. Captain gets his goal. And at that point, I was like, right, I'd love to see what happens at full time here. Because Liverpool have got West Ham next. And that's away. And that is a team you don't want to play when you need a win. Because West Ham are very, very, very unpredictable. But Liverpool, as it stands, have conceded seven more goals than Everton. Look at that. Look at that. 20 goals conceded. That's one of the worst defences in the Premier League. In fact, only the bottom 5, Forest, West Ham, Leeds, Burnley and Wolves, have conceded more goals than Liverpool. And Bournemouth are level with them. The 6th worst defence in the league. And I'm not going to lie, when I looked at this game, when I did my preview of Terry, I thought they'd go out there after that win against Real Madrid, they'd go out there and win. But they've lost to Palace, Galatasaray, Chelsea, Manchester United, Brentford, Palace again. They beat Villa to try and turn a corner. Then they beat Everton. Then they beat Southampton. But then they lost to Palace again. In the Premier League. Before that, they beat Real Madrid. And then they've lost back-to-back 3-0 defeats. I'm going to look at the games they've got coming up. Sunderland at Anfield. I don't want to say it's going to be Arne Slot's last game, right? I don't. But at this trajectory, they're not even going to make top 4 at the moment. Inter Milan and PSV in the next Champions League games, if they don't beat West Ham, right, I'm going to say it now. If they do not beat West Ham at the London Stadium, I think Arne Slot will be sacked. And you're going to probably be thinking, Henry, what are you talking about? He won in the Premier League. It is essential for Liverpool spending that they make the Champions League. And as it stands, yes, they're only 2 points off of fourth. Yes, they're only 4 points away from Manchester City. But this Liverpool team, with the money they've spent, should be winning a league title. And if Arsenal win tomorrow, which they are the clear favourites to beat us, they will be 11 points behind top. And we can say the same thing. Yes, they're only a few points off of top four, but they're only a few points away from flipping Newcastle. You know, they're only 6 points ahead of Forest. And Forest have had 3 different managers this season. They got to take a long, hard look at themselves and really think about what's actually going on here. Because I'm not going to lie, they're in a crisis. An absolute crisis. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. I am out.